Welcome back to Notte Eterna. The night is new and the moon is high, smiling down on us all. And here we are for another exciting adventure. We're going to continue our tale of the Blood Rites. It's another arc that we're telling here in Notte Eterna. I am Kevin. I am your dungeon master and ambassador for the game over here in the US. Around me, you will see the beautiful, shining, happy faces of those adventurers who are tasked with delving into the blood domain and seeking out answers in a time of darkness. If you are new to the show tonight, thank you for tuning in and hanging out with us. If you're coming back, thanks for hanging out. We love you guys, and we're ready to take the journey, continue it, and tell some amazing tales. So let's jump around. Let's meet everybody and let you know who we're going to be playing, and then we will dive into the action proper. Let's start right over here on my side. Oh, I pointed the right way. That was nice. Adrian, hi, welcome back, my friend.
Hi, good evening. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Tonight, I will be returning into the boots of Sir Caden Elios, which is a human wandering knight, which is kind of an offshoot of the ranger class, and he is one of those that sticks by his friends and continues to go headlong into the darkness to try to bring a little light into the world. Unlike most of the other characters who are kind of imbued with some sort of darkness, extremely pale skin, he's kind of
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
He's kind of a sun-kissed to it, but he's a little bit darker. He's unusual because he's actually smiled in the last 10 years, and he's got a trusty horse, a trusty sword, and a dark helmet, and he's looking forward to going off and finding Flora and avenging all that these vampires have brought to this land, and we'll see what happens tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to that as well. Let's jump on over to the other side. I pointed right again. I love it. Beth, hello. Welcome back. It's always great to have you sitting here. So tell us who you're playing tonight.
Yes, so I am continuing to play Isra, who is a Karevi warlock. She has smiled recently, but her smiles are kind of psychotic looking, so there is a difference. I am also very excited to see what happens here. Last episode was a lot of really great stuff, and I feel like we're going to be jumping right into it, so I'm excited.
Oh, yes. Awesome. Can't wait. Let's jump on down to the bottom row. You saw him here last week, producer of the channel right now, and also playing one of our characters in this arc. Miko, my man, what's going on?
Hello, everyone. I am Miko, and I am playing a pale, dark individual named Kalim. He is a reborn half-elf that is a cleric of darkness. Darkness is what he calls home and does his bidding. And I think that there are a number of vampires that are soon going to find out what the true meaning of darkness actually is.
Oh my. It's not a threat, everybody. It's a promise. So thank you, Miko, for being back. And we missed her last time, but she's back. Deb, hello. Welcome back.
Hello.
She was here.
She was here.
Her finger, at least.
Part of her.
Yeah, just a small piece.
Mhm.
Hi, I'm Deb. I'm so glad to be back here in the Eternal Darkness. Oh, it's going to be so much fun this evening. I'm playing Flora. She is a Willowy Dance Macabre bard. The Dance Macabre subclass has some really awesome features, and I'm really looking forward to getting back into what Flora can do once she's reunited with her friends.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully that will be soon, because there's a lot to be done here in the Eternal Night and a lot to be done here in the Blood Domain. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and we appreciate you being here. And let's go ahead, without any further ado, let's dive in, shall we? When last we left our intrepid adventurers, the night, as always, was dark and full of mischief and full of terrors. Here in the Eternal Night, there is always a question as to whether or not the people who survive the Eternal Dark have a right to do so. And in the Blood Domain specifically, when the sun fell from the sky and bathed the world in eternal night, the Hijlaki, or the High Vampires, decided to make the world their proper home. Because of this, the Blood Domain is a place that is lawful, but not in an entirely inviting way. There is an iron grasp that rules over the people here. The lesser races, as the vampires would call them, are fodder, slaves, and almost a bit of a currency passed around to be sure to continue their way of life. There was a bit of an upset recently, however, when a mistake from the past reared its ugly head in the form of a strange, dark beast. And our four heroes previously sacrificed quite a bit to slay said beast and to save an innocent girl caught in its web. But, as we have found out most recently, however, all of this was for naught. For this same young woman was set as a bit of a trap, her blood tainted by the dark curse of the vampire and the Hijlaki. Natalia did attack the heroes and attempted to even slay her own father before the heroes interceded. And unfortunately, they did so missing one of their own. Flora had stayed behind in the Blood Domain to ensure said release, making that sacrifice all the more biting that it had no direct payoff. But, as we said, she was here in spirit. Her finger was, anyway, as the heroes who remained received a bit of a care package from those in the Blood Domain. And in this moment, as we dive back into tonight's session properly, our attention will be drawn to a tall spire that rises up above the other spires in the city of said name. Nearby, there is a tall obelisk, bodies strewn, bones, fresher bodies, and sacrifices built into its structure. Most of these are newer, we will see. Fresh blood trickles down upon the obelisk and begins to pool on the ground nearby. Some of the fence, as the Hijlaki would call their slaves, are down, kneeled before it, trying to make sure that they do not fall victim to the bloodletting as well. There are vampires who roam the streets, cast in dark armor and wielding weapons that will brook no sort of argument. Our attention finds one specific individual with a dark crimson cloak as she makes her way through this crowd and towards one of the spires. She enters in through the front. Several vampires give her an immediate look of alarm. What is an elf coming in here doing? But they realize who she is. They let her pass. She makes her way up to the second, then third, then fourth floor, where she softly raps on a door. And we hear a familiar voice that would, in another place, in another time, be young and jovial and perhaps even inviting. But there is a great onus upon that voice as they call their servant into the room, allow them to enter in through the door. Regia steps through the door, and as she does, we see a slender young woman sitting in a chair over by the window. She casually stares at a wind chime hanging from near the window that shifts slightly in an unfelt breeze. And as we see the young woman, she shifts her left hand, reaching up to touch at the cylindrical rods, missing the ring finger on her left hand. And this young woman turns to Regia as she enters. All is done, Flora. We have made sure that all of the preparations to try to make sure that we can warn your friends has been completed. Do you require anything else of me this evening?
I don't think so. You're sure that all of the preparations are complete, that everything got to them?
Well, everything that we can do without drawing direct attention to ourselves. I know you were rather cross that I did not go and try to warn them personally, but that would have been too much of a threat to you and to your new position here. You do realize what Bram would have done had he known what you are trying to do.
I have seen what he is capable of.
Regia, the elven hunter, looks to your missing finger. Yes, I guess you have. That is all. I will take my leave. Know that there is a widening of the guard outside. It would seem that Bram is expecting something to happen. It would seem that there was an attack in Tarash just a few hours ago. It would seem the girl that you all risked to rescue, young Natalia, had a little bit of a surprise up her sleeve. There's at least 24 dead. They turned her.
Bram told me as much.
Yes, well, let's pray she didn't do what most of the uncivilized vampires do. Let's hope that your friends are not coming to drink your blood or mine.
I doubt that she was able to overpower them.
Perhaps. Well, Countess, I will take my leave. You know how to page me if you need me. And she motions for a ring that she has on her finger, and then she looks to, oh yes, that's right, you had to move that to a different hand. She looks over at your other hand and just gives you a slight nod, and then she, like a shadow itself, slips off and disappears through the door that doesn't make any sound as it opens and then shuts again. In this moment, Flora, what thoughts come to your mind over the time that you've spent here alone and the recent developments that have happened to you?
Flora is sort of staring sadly and a little bit wistfully out the window. And she has no way to contact her friends. But if she could, she would tell them not to come. She feels foolish. She feels like this whole thing is her fault and it was all for nothing. And so she has been through a lot in the past few days, and she is just sort of tired and dreading the days to come.
Absolutely. You look once again to the wind chime that once belonged to your mother, the prior countess, before you all had to face her, and whether luckily or unluckily, depending on how one might perceive such things, you had to end her reign here. And you wonder what the night might hold for you and your friends. You hear continued screaming outside at the obelisk as more of the slaves are sacrificed. Our attention will go back a few miles away from the city of Spires directly, a few miles to the north of Tarash, where there is a figure on horseback riding and making his way, rather at a silent clip through the night, trying to make his way towards where they can try to rescue Flora. There is a small carriage behind you, driven by David, who smacks the reins, and the horses continue to move along.
Kevin,
Israeus.
if
Go,
I
please.
if I could interrupt for a second, I just had a question.
Of course.
So I had, well, first of all, I wanted to make sure we got a long rest in between.
Yes.
And everything, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have time to be rested. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make sure we got that. In this scene, before we get into the scene, I would like to have set up possibly that Kalim is riding in the carriage, and I am assuming one or more of my compatriots is in there with me, and if possible, I would like to be using a scry spell at this moment to check on Flora.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay.
It would be virtually impossible for Flora to resist this scry spell because she would have a minus 15 to her saving roll, as I have a body part
Right.
that belongs to her.
Okay.
And so
So
I would like if you would allow it for us to have witnessed that interaction with Regia.
Well, let's do this, if you don't mind. If you could, I would like you to make your spellcasting is based upon your wisdom.
Mhm.
So could you please make a wisdom check for me?
That's a 15.
15. You cast
this is an ability check. I'm going to add a d6 to that because I can do
Okay.
it. 20. Dirty 20 total.
20. Oh, I like that. When you cast the scrying spell, you've done this before. Ever since you died and came back with the powers of darkness flowing through your undead form, you've been able to do this. You've been able to reach out, especially with a body part or something that belongs to the person or thing you're trying to scry. And so you've become accustomed to it. It's not hard for you to do. However, when you cast the scrying spell this time, even with the aid of Flora's finger, and you've done other magics to determine that yes, it is in fact her finger, when you reach out with the scrying, normally you get a very clear image. It's almost like you're looking through a portal, a window into the area. This time, however, it's like that window has grease or some sort of kind of obscuring paste or something smeared over it, because when you try to look through your scrying, it's not entirely clear. You do manage to see the scene, but it's got a bit of a warbled effect. Like there's almost like it's distorted. It's not quite true. If you'd like to, you can make an Arcana check to see if you are aware of any sort of effects that might be causing this to be this way.
Natural 20 for a total of 28.
Perfect. Yeah. So you know that there are types of magics that can prevent scrying, and something like that is in place here, but because of the fact that you have a body part in a very deep connection with Flora, you're able to bypass part of that. So you did see that scene, you witnessed it, but it did have a little bit of a distorted, almost like you were hearing it through a tunnel or hearing it through some sort of other obstruction.
Could I have at least made out that Regia is working for Flora?
Oh yes, yeah, you would have definitely been able to tell that from the interaction.
Okay.
Definitely. And Isra sits next to you. As you move along, and as he is attempting to do the scrying, which does, in essence, be successful, you are trying desperately to reach out and hear the song that belongs to Flora, and you don't quite get it back quite yet. Is there anything else you would like to be doing?
That is upsetting. No, I think having seen that both Cade and Kalim were entirely enraged just, not too long ago. And I understand. I was also rather unhappy, to say the least. But I think Isra is just sitting in quiet, allowing things to, I guess, fizzle a little bit. And she just has Sugar, her little pseudo dragon, on her lap. And she is like picking at some shed on like the underside of one of its wings, and just, giving it lots of scratches and stuff because he's so cute.
He is the best boy for sure. And the two of you sit there together and try to just think about your friend, and try to have those harsh feelings and that worry that you have try to flow and kind of be calmed in the motions and leading up into you arriving. Outside on the horse, Cade, you continue to ride along, making a good clip. You actually have to ride a little bit slower than normal to have them keep up with you. Being a wandering knight, you're very quick. You're able to move through the terrain easily enough. In this moment, if you could, what's your passive perception? If you could remind me, please.
My passive perception is 17.
Oh, yeah, great. As you continue to move forward, you see up ahead, just off to the side of the road, that there is a. How do I put this? I think the term a tribute or a statue would be probably too nice for what you see here. You see that there is a pole that is probably about 8 feet tall, and it looks like it's been sharpened at one end. And you can tell this because that sharpened end protrudes through the chest of three individuals that are hanging back to front, almost like they are skewered. Well, they are skewered onto it, and they hang impaled upon this staff as it's poked up out of the ground. You see this one, and as your blood begins to pump in your ears, you see another and another. The rest of the trail that leads to the city of Spires itself is lined with these bodies impaled upon these spikes. You would see that there's 3 or 4 for each of the stakes as they go along. So there's at least 2.5 dozen people just in the immediate what you can see.
All right. Cade will stop. Will stop his horse.
Okay. You pull up the reins on Luna and she stops for you.
Is this just a single road, or does this begin at a crossroad, or have we been traveling the same road all this time?
Yeah, you guys have been traveling pretty much the same general road area that you guys took before to arrive at the blood domain from Tarash. They're very close. Tarash is like right on the edge of the blood domain. The city of Spires is in a little bit, and yeah, so it's like a dirt type road, and so it's well worn. It's an area that would be pretty common. You can see that they've added these effigies along the side of the road. These
and these are new.
Oh, very much so.
Very fresh.
Yes. There's not even carrion birds picking at most of the bodies yet.
Cade will get off his horse for a moment, allowing the carriage to, I guess, catch up to a point. And he will go up to the first monument and pull out his sword and begin to just kind of etch something on the actual, not the bodies, but the things that's impaling it.
Of course, on the stakes.
Stake itself.
Yeah, as you move forward, David, the driver of your companions in the carriage, sits there. It's a strange sight, you all going back into the blood domain with him driving a carriage that once belonged to a vampire lord that you all killed. And he sits there, and you can see he shifts slightly. His hands kind of rub against each other like he's a bit uncomfortable. Be careful, Master Cade. You're not sure. There might have been something that they did to the bodies. Strange diseases in a land like this, perhaps.
He will turn and look at him, and he will nod his head, and then kind of once he just kind of angrily hacks at one of the stakes, will walk in front of David's carriage and raise up his hand, motioning David to stop.
Yeah, and he does.
Once we're stopped, Kalim will immediately try to get out, or at least look out the door.
Yeah, you look out the side of the carriage. There's like some curtains that you pull back, and you look out. You can see the Cade has dismounted. He's now on the ground, and he looks like he's having a conversation with David. And David just nervously shifts in his seat.
I will step out.
Okay. And upon stepping out, you see the rows of bodies as well. They're spaced about every 50 feet. These poles, these giant stakes in the ground with the bodies impaled upon them. And Kalim, because you are so observant, you notice that up ahead, a few of the bodies twitch and move and groan because they're not entirely dead.
Oh,
What
look
is
at
David?
Cade.
What is David's expression at this moment, seeing the kind of trail of
Yeah,
bodies?
he looks like a man who is about to throw up all over himself, but he's really fighting hard to not do that. He's just kind of looking down. See, he's kind of swallowing hard. He's got a cold sweat dripping down his forehead.
Cade will look over to see that that Kaleem is also looking at the bodies and has also left the cart. And he'll also look towards his horse, look towards Luna, and then he'll go back towards David. David.
Yes, Master Cade.
Where we are going. This that you see is nothing compared to where we're going. It is now in this moment where you can turn around. No shame. There is no shame of returning to your family. This has gotten way bigger than us. And I cannot in good conscience let you go down that path. Because one of those stakes is going to be for us. This is a message. They know we're coming. And I know that you have a lot more to lose. And you have served us well. So there is no shame if you wish to turn back. But right now, now's the time.
I feel as though I gave my word to you and swore to help you find. And you can see he actually sees the bodies for a second. His face goes even paler, if that's possible. You can see he's like on the verge of starting to hyperventilate. You can tell he's definitely bothered by what he's seeing.
Mm-hmm.
He looks to Kaleem, and I assume Kaleem, like always, you have that stoic look. Yeah. Isra, what are you doing during all this?
She pops out of the carriage, following Kaleem, as is typical. And upon seeing everything that's laid out before them, she's a dark and creepy person, but this is beyond that. She really stands there wondering if it would be merciful to kill those that are still alive, and can't decide if that's a good thing or a bad thing, and just sort of waits to see what Kaleem ends up doing.
And as you stand there, Isra, and you take in all these bodies, you hear a voice kind of emerge out of the ether. You could have stopped this. Another spirit. This is because of what you did. Another spirit comes in. Please help us all, please. They flow in through you, and there is another spirit, the one that you feel within, rises up, begins to tickle at the back of your mind, at the back of your spirit. Could you please make a wisdom saving throw?
Okay. 24.
Okay. There is unbridled rage, not rage because of what's been done, but rage is because of the fact that it's hard to describe. It's almost like a rage at the fact that you didn't get to do any of this kind of gruesome bloodshed yourself. But you pressed it down.
Yep.
What is Kaleem doing in this moment? So she's looking
Seeing David the way he is, Kaleem steps up onto the driver's position of the carriage, kneels down next to David so that he can look David in the eye, reaches out, takes David's hand by the wrist, I think, and lifts it up. revealing the wedding band upon his finger and kind of holding that in front of David's face. Any oath that you took to help us pales in comparison to the oath that you took however many decades ago that was.
It does. I will go back and see if I can help Gregor recover, keep his wits about him. He was he was very affected by what happened, and as a father, I might be able to find some common ground with him. So I'm sorry, my friends. If there's anything that you need, some of the horses from the carriage, please take them. There's more than we need anyway. These high vampires, they they like to show off with too many horses, I think.
You
pulls a handkerchief
should
out and dabs at his forehead.
You should take the carriage. We will take a horse. That is all that we need. And in the unlikely event that we do not return, you should deal with whatever payment you can get from this horrifying object.
Aye. May Loun watch over you from where the light still shines for him.
Loun has no place around me. And Kalim just jumps off of the carriage and goes to undo one of the horses.
He looks like he's about to apologize, and he lets it go. After a moment of you all doing what you need to do to, get your equipment, get any sort of things that you might need, David disembarks. He turns the carriage around, and he begins to head back towards Tarash. He looks at all of you one last time. He nods, takes a deep breath, and he spurs the horses on, beginning to travel back down south to where you all had left, to Gregor and the carnage that happened there because of the young woman that you saved. You all turn back to the road, and you all continue to make your way. Or is there anything you want to do first?
Well, at least there's one smart person out of all of us. As he motions towards David.
I thought you were talking about your horse.
No.
As he brings the horse that was unhooked over to Isra, and he summons Nocturne for himself.
Yes, your phantom steed emerges out of the night, almost like the shadows made form. Bones kind of semi-seen through the spectral visage of it. And Isra, you mount up, and the three of you begin to ride the rest of the way? Or...
Yep.
All
Heck
right.
yeah.
Absolutely. It's not very much longer that you will have to ride to get to the City of Spires, and as you reach the edge of it, the outskirts, the southern border of it, there is the familiar city that is, the familiar wall that is there that has a perimeter around the outside of the city. And as you come up, you do see that there are several individuals who looks like they're patrolling. They're wearing armor. You can definitely tell that these would be vampires that are patrolling, walking around, and that sort of thing. They notice you all approaching, and when you approach, one of them puts a hand up. You will stop and you will state your business here.
Slim will ride up to him, get dangerously close to him, looming over him, and say, "My business you do not wish to know."
And
he's just staring at him with his cold, dead eyes.
Are you one of the expected, then? Are you one of the council that is coming to see to the ritual?
Oh, I am expected.
He looks to your two companions, and there's about 3 guards total. Excuse me. They all 3 look to your companions. These are your cattle that ride with you?
I'm going to reach out and grab him by his throat and lift him off of the ground.
Okay. Okay. You do so. Yeah, you grab him, you pull him up off the ground. I'm just going to roll something to see real quick what happens. Okay, the others, as you do this, they all immediately, lightning fast, their hands go to swords that are at their side, close around the hilt, and they both come out halfway. But the guy
I
who you have a
wouldn't
hold
do
of, he
that.
motions for his hand, like for them to stop. Yeah, this.
You said the wrong thing. And I just drop him.
Okay. Please make an intimidation check for me.
Come on, baby. I'm gonna use one of my ability check modifiers to add to that, just to be sure. 19 total.
Okay. He looks at you, and there is that moment that this is a person who is used to being the alpha, is used to being the one who terrifies people, but he sees something in your visage that is definitely something that he does not want to mess with. So he just stands. He looks to the others. I'm sure Bram will want to speak with him. We'll let him pass. We'll see what exactly happens. You have made a grave mistake, friend.
Just stares at him. You can inform whoever you wish, and when you do, you let them know that the darkness is here to consume them.
When you mention the darkness, you see they all get a shiver. Something that actually terrifies the vampires is the Great Dark that you all did vanquish a few days ago, but maybe word of that hasn't entirely spread to everyone, because you can see that they are affected by your words when you say that. He steps aside, and the other 2 who are still holding the swords but have backed down a little bit, they look to him confused almost, and he just, let them pass, as I said. Let them pass. And they both step aside, each one staring. One stares at Isra, the other stares at Cade, as you 3 ride in, and you pass through the gate. There's not a door on the gate or a portcullis or anything like that, so it is open, so you just ride right through. And as you get further into, as you start to pass through the gate, you can see that there are some townsfolk that are milling about, would be a bit generous. They are moving about in the area like they are busy with work. You could tell these townsfolk are people who look like they would typically be doing something else, maybe um, typical things of the day. I mean, everyone here in the Blood Domain, especially in the city of Spires, are slaves. They are endured to the vampire, to the Hijlaki, but these people look even more so. You can see that they've actually got a look of sadness, but several of them seem to have a spark light up in their eyes as they see you all approach. There was a gentleman that you see specifically. He's he's barrel chested. He's a kind of a chubbier guy, older, longer, kind of scruffier hair, kind of a uneven beard. You see that he looks, and he seems to get a little bit of a smile to himself. He says something to the woman next to him, and she turns and to some others, and they begin to move away. And he steps forward. He goes, "You there? I know you. I know your deeds. I know what you have done here. Have you returned to..." He looks around. "Have you returned to free us all? Have you returned to slay the Dark Masters here?"
Cade will
Kalim-
not acknowledge them.
Yeah,
He'll continue.
Kalim is staring at the obelisk.
Mm-hmm.
And his eyes are not wavering from it, as he is almost quaking in his shadowy saddle. His fists are clenched so tightly around the shadowed reins in his hands that it looks like if he was not wearing gauntlets, he would be rending his own palms with his fingertips.
Isra looks out over the people, doesn't say anything, but you can see a kind of sadness in her eyes, knowing that it would be great if we could save everybody, but there is no guarantee of that. They might not do what they're set out to do, so she doesn't say anything to them either.
You are the Grey Knight who attacked the Blood Spire, aren't you? The man says, looking at you, Cade. I recognize your dark helm. Although it would strike fear into most men, it has emboldened my heart and made me feel young again.
He will just turn and he will just do a slight nod and then just look straight ahead.
Are the three of you in need of respite? I have a place you can hide, a place where you can plan. How can I be of assistance to you, saviors?
Do we need a place to hide?
Kalim is almost brokenly focused on the obelisk at this point.
Looking at the obelisk, you see that there are a lot of dead bodies piled up at the base of it that are relatively new as well. You can see that the obelisk is made out of body parts, mainly skulls, but there's also rib cages and different other things that are built into its structure, and you can see that some of that is new as well.
Sir, yes, perhaps you can show us to your place. Kalim and Cade, we should talk. And she'll sort of motion for the man to take us.
Yes, you can talk in private. I have just a place, please. This way. And he turns to those other folks that there was the woman that he talked to and the others. He just motions for them, and he's motioning and waving with his arms. They part, and you can see there's murmuring amongst them all of, "Oh, they got rid of the Great Dark." And you can hear another one, "That girl, that new countess, she was with them." And different things that they speak to each other.
Kalim is unmoved.
Okay.
For heaven's sake. Isra will hop down from her horse and sort of stomp over and attempt to grab the reins of this phantom steed, which I don't even know if I can grasp physically.
He is technically a physical manifestation. He's just, made of shadow. As soon as Isra grasps at the reins, Kalim, lashes out fast and grabs onto Isra's wrist with a tight clench, staring down at her.
Cade will stop.
And then he looks at Isra, and his eyes change, his grasp slackens, and he just has this look upon his face of shame.
Come. We can talk. And she'll hop back up on her horse and try to lead the way.
And we'll let Nocturne follow, because I think in this moment Nocturne might be listening to Isra more, because Kalim is not directing Nocturne to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And Isra knows Nocturne, so this is not uncharacteristic, I think. And as they're moving, Kalim's eyes are just still locked on the obelisk for several long moments before he faces forward and everything just goes cold, dead stare.
Absolutely. And as you follow the man, as he begins to lead you away from the the obelisk of the vanquished, as it's tenderly called, and the blood spire that's somewhat nearby. He is taking you in to a different section of the city where you can tell there's more, looks like barracks and setups like that. So typically, Kalim, you are a very alert individual. Your perception is almost godly at this point, but I think you were so filled with rage,
Oh,
with
he doesn't
hatred,
notice anything.
that you
He's
don't notice.
completely oblivious.
Yeah. You don't notice a figure wearing a red cloak that slips off just outside of everyone else's range of vision. The figure, a short time later, emerges back in your chambers, Flora. I thought you'd want to know that your friends are back.
I asked you to get word to them and tell them not to come.
You did, but not a great idea. I mean, realistically, you need all the help you can get. And besides, I mean, I just had to see Cade again. I mean, that little cleft in his chin, I could just bite it, you know?
Are they safe?
Seems to be, although the your friend Kalim, you know, the scary one, he made a point to try to pick a fight with the guards at the front gate.
That seems like him.
Is there anything else you need me to do that I can do that won't bring attention to what we're doing up here?
Not at the moment.
Okay. I gotta admit, you are an easier boss to follow than your mom was. So, there's that. I guess I'll be back then.
I may be easier in some ways, but do not cross me.
She looks at you and she gets a wide smile. Ah, there you are. I'll return, my lady. And she will, unless you have anything else to say, she will slip back out through the door. The rest of you follow the man a short distance to what looks like, I said, you're going towards these barracks. You're going towards these quarters that they would house the slaves, those who would be beneath the Hijlaki. And as you continue to ride into the area, he motions, "Oh yes, it's gonna be right over this way. This is the place here." And he's looking around to make sure you guys aren't being followed. There doesn't seem to be. There are vampires and Hijlaki nearby, but none of them seem to be noticing what's going on. Kind of peculiar since you all made a big commotion coming in, but he takes you over to the this one barrack house that looks nicer than the others. A little more appointed. It's still not great, but it looks it's a little bit more appointed. And he goes up to the front door. He knocks, knock, 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 knock. Waits a second, knock again, and then there's a long pause, and then the door just cracks, opens up. This way, he says. He's looking around the street again. And then you see he looks past you all and he looks at some of the vampire guardsmen that are walking around. Please, hurry. Come on.
Come on. Isra will follow.
Okay. This way you go within the door.
William will follow Isra.
Okay.
Okay,
I
we'll
felt
have the
so.
rear.
Okay. When you pass by the man Cade, he kind of gives you a clap on the back. Ah, yes, that's a good man there. And as the three of you step into the room, you see that the room is actually very small. All the walls are lined with metal, and there's like rows and rows and rows of these small little holes all over the walls, the ceiling, even the floor. And when you look back to the man to see what's going on, he goes, "You have to forgive me. I have a family to watch out for." And he shuts the door, and you start to hear it locking and latching from the other side.
Why are we so trusting?
You all look around the room, and you see that there is some sort of red mist that starts to funnel out of all the holes. What do you guys do?
What is this door made out of?
The door looks like it's made out of, now that you are on the inside of it, you can see it is a metal door, that the wood door that was outside, the wood dilapidated door on the outside, was actually put to obscure this. The inside looks like it's all steel and other types of materials that are together. You can see at least part of it must be moon steel, because there's parts of it that are kind of glowing slightly, as they do in the moonlight.
I'm assuming that there is no gap or anything at all in the door.
You guys can do an investigation check if you'd like to see. Okay. Whoever wants to can go ahead. You can either do this as a group check, like you all can roll, or if you want to have one person roll being like assisted by the others, that person could have advantage. Or you all could roll individually. You have to have 2 successes because there are 3 of you to see if there's anything to notice.
I have a
I would
plus
love
8,
to roll.
so
9.
Yeah, I can assist.
Okay. Is that what you guys are doing? You're assisting Kalim?
Well, we need 2 successes, so at least 2 of us have
that's
to
true.
roll. Yeah. What's Isra's
Yeah.
bonus there?
Plus 9.
Oh, that's pretty good too.
Yeah, mine's +1, so.
Okay. All right. So yeah, a bunch of guys go
I'll
ahead.
take the assist.
There we go. Yeah. So yeah, Kalim, you roll with advantage, and then Isra, you will roll regular, and we will see what happens as you are investigating the door. There is a mist that is starting to rise up off of the floor as well. The mist is about ankle deep at this point, and it's starting to slowly fill the room. The air has a slight mist to it. It's not completely obscured. You can see what's going on, but it definitely has a sort of a reddish hue to it.
I got
what's
a
it-
21 total.
21?
26.
26. Okay.
Nice.
As you all are looking about the door, it's actually Isra who finds that there is one of the hinges on the door. Looks like at one point in time, it's hard to tell how long ago it was, because this looks like it's been metal that has not been rusted. It's not pitted, except for the fact that the one hinge on the top looks like in the past someone has tried to break it or get out of the room, because it has a lot of grooves and dents in it, as if it was struck repeatedly by something. You might be able to continue said attack on it and actually destroy that hinge and open the door partially, which might be able to help vent the room out.
So Isra, upon walking in here, seeing the door close, and the smoke starts filling it up, she's just like, oh, for heaven's sake, and takes off her pack and pulls out a crowbar, and I'll hand it over to Cade. Can you just get us out of here? And she'll point out like the hinge and all that good stuff.
Okay. All right. Cade will take the crowbar and we'll attempt to. All right. How hard can this be? It's only a
Right.
giant
I
ass
will-
metal door.
Cast enhanceability, strength, and I can do 2 of us, so I will do myself and Kate.
Okay.
That's advantage on strength checks and the like.
Alrighty. What I'm going to do is I'm going to implement a timer here as this begins, and we'll see what happens, shall we?
All
Okay.
right.
This is a 2-minute timer. What we will do is each 2 minutes will represent 1 round of the time it takes for this room to fill. At the end of 5 rounds, this room will be completely filled with the gas. So
Okay.
let's see what happens, shall we? So as you go ahead and you are trying to do that, as this gets turned over, go ahead and make a strength or athletics test for me, please, Cade, with assist from Cade. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that.
He has
Cade-
he has advantage because of the spell, and then I'm
Right.
also going to be working the door from the other angle.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
And this is the only door in this room, right?
It is.
It's
Yep.
otherwise okay. Yeah.
Yeah, this very clearly is a trap now that you all see what's going on.
Okay.
All right, 26.
26, I like that.
Much better than my 11.
Okay. Yes, you continue to pull and reef on the door. The hinge has a snapping and a popping sound, and as it does, there's a bolt that shears off inside of the steel and snaps, and you see the hinge pull away from the door in one section. The door itself, although it doesn't come off, it doesn't break or anything like that. You do see that the door moves in a way that there is now a gap, and you can see some of the mist in the air is starting to trickle out of it. It's still not enough to empty the room. You guys would have to do more, but
Okay.
it looks
Is
like the
there
hinge
enough
is
of a
being
gap
worked out.
that I can see outside of the door?
Not quite yet. No, you'd have to work on it again. If you'd like to continue to do so, we can do that.
Yep.
While in between bouts of this,
Mhm.
I am going to
Natural 20 for a total of 23.
Ooh,
Nice, nice.
Uh,
Yeah. So Kalim, you take a turn reefing on the crowbar and bending and snapping, and as that happens, the other bolt that's in it shears off as well. The hinge completely bursts off of the wall, and the door at that section, it actually shifts a little bit. The seal wasn't entirely tight, and you can just see a very small sliver of moonlight coming in from the outside. You can't actually like see outside, but you could definitely tell that there's now a slit big enough to allow for moonlight and a little bit of the dark from outside to come through. And at the end of that round, I need everybody to please make a Constitution save.
Do I need to? Because I don't breathe.
You do not.
Oh
That'll be-
yeah.
a 13.
A 13.
I'm probably going to use my lucky.
Okay.
21.
21.
Boom, 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 boom. Oops.
Isra hasn't breathed in at all because this entire time she's been letting out a low and steady,
Yes.
just pure like rage growl.
All right,
That's
got a
better.
16.
A 16?
Hmm?
Okay. You both are doing okay. Everybody is maintaining themselves. The mist does continue to fill the room. You have slightly slowed its rise, however, because of the fact that there's now a slit in the door, but it does continue. So what do you guys do as this flips over?
I cast gaseous form on Cade, and as I
Okay.
do so, I say, "Go outside and open this door so that I can get her out quickly." And then he turns to mist.
Yes, Cade, you turn into a mist form.
Ugh.
And yeah, it is cold. It's bizarre for sure.
All right, I missed. All right, as
Yeah, and I
Miss-
feel like it is a moment where he like grabs onto Cade's chest and like locks eyes with him as he does this arcane mutterance, and his shadows kind of roil off of his hand and into Adrian's chest, but instead of like going around, or I'm sorry, into Cade's chest, but instead of going around Cade, they're actually literally going into Cade's chest and turning
Rad.
him into mist. As
Love that.
he says to get out of the room.
Nice.
Yep.
All right,
And
I
Cade,
know
yeah,
time,
you
time is
through
of the
crack.
essence, and so he will. Cade will go through the door, and as Mist, I can't open a door. As Mist, I mean, do
You
I
can
know how
drop it
to-
instantly. It's your will to
Okay.
drop it. So
On the other side of the door is my horse there.
You come out on the other side of the door, still in gaseous form. You do see that Luna is being, how should I say this, tied up nearby. That man who ties you guys in, you can see, seeing the smoke come out. He's like, oh, and he's moving away. And as he does, you can see that there are two vampire guardsmen who he was motioning to start to stride forward.
Okay, so
They both
Cade
draw
is going
long
to
swords.
take his gaseous form and is going to turn back to physical on the saddle of Luna before he gets tied up, and is going
Okay.
to bolt towards the door. And the goal is, and as he's riding Luna, he's gonna cast Beast Bond.
Oh.
So we'll have a telepathic link
Okay.
with Luna and be like, I need your greatest strength now. Kick down this door.
Alrighty.
You know.
And as you turn and begin to ride forward with her, I need Isra to please make another Constitution saving throw. Because you've had exposure to it now, the DC does go up.
11.
11. Alrighty. Isra, you are going to take 2 points of damage to your Constitution score. Your Constitution score is going to go down by 2 points.
Oh, snap.
This will retroactively affect your hit points and saves and things like that you might have. So this is some nasty mist going on in here. So that was round 2. So round 3, let's flip this over. So is there anything you guys are doing with this?
I mean, I'm still trying to get the door open and hoping that Cade can finish getting it open. All it needs is the tiniest sliver for me to be able to see outside, and then I can get both of us out.
Sure. You can do another strength or athletics test if you want to try to work on the other hinge that's down at the bottom. This one looks like it's never been damaged before, so this would be harder to do, but you could do that if you want.
That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Yeah, you do start to pull it and wrench it. You could feel it start to pull. It's not breaking like the other one, but you can definitely tell you're putting a dent in it. It is starting to bend and warp a little bit. Isra, are you doing anything in the room? You still have actions and whatnot.
I honestly, I think that Isra's trying to figure out what her next step is, but I think that those voices are especially loud right now.
Yes.
Telling her that she fucked up again.
There is that voice, that malevolent one. I can get you out of this. I just need control.
I will hold on to that voice, and I allow myself to sort of like start to vibrate, and I channel this union that I have with the dead, and with that I can move through solid objects, and I just get right on out.
Oh,
there you go.
My. I love that.
You're gonna go through their door right as the horse's butts kick.
Yeah, so
could have done that 2
Could have
Constitution
done that,
points ago, but
4 minutes ago.
Yeah, so Cade, as you turn and you spur Luna on, this round does come to an end. As you spur Luna on and you start to drive forward, you watch as the door shimmers and like flexes, like something's pushing against it, and almost like a sheet that's being pushed. You see a hand start to push, and then it snaps through, and then you see Isra pull herself out and step through the door, the edge of the door, the surface of it moving and warping like it's some sort of film. And as she steps the rest of the way out, I need you to please make let's call this a dexterity, because there's not really a ride.
Animal
skill.
handling using
Animal
dexterity.
handling, yeah, we call it animal handling. Yeah.
Like
Okay.
using dex, so that because it's trying to jerk the horse out of the way, maybe.
Do you have proficiency in animal handling?
I do.
Okay.
And I rolled an 11.
Okay. That's is that using your what's that? Is that using your it could be your dexterity or your strength rather than your charisma, because you're trying to force.
Yeah, and like,
That's
there's
11.
no way he would have thought that someone's coming through the door.
Oh, of course,
Like-
of course.
You know, the fact that this is happening is like, wait, what? The what? And
Yeah.
so,
So you do try to pull up on the reins. You do try to pull Luna off to the side. However, you're not quick enough. You do slam right into Isra and knock her back up against the door. Now, Isra, I assume as soon as you get through the door, you probably stay materialized or not.
no, I get to be spectral for a minute, so I can
Okay.
stay like that, so I don't get kicked in the teeth.
Gotcha.
And I'll move aside.
I'm going to go ahead and put this aside for now because the mist will not affect Kalim because he does not breathe. So, yeah. So
William
you
is just
are-
like pounding on the door at this point.
I love that. Yeah, just beating and pounding on the door. There are vampire guardsmen nearby that are starting to yell and make a commotion, like they're all noticing what's going on. They can hear the yelling. That man who led you guys in here at this point is moving back in behind the two vampire guardsmen who have drawn their swords. They move in towards you, Cade, as you pretty much run through Isra and into the door with Luna. Let's do this. Because you got an 11 on that roll, I'm going to have Luna take 1d6 damage from hitting the door.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that is a 6. Luna takes 6 points of bludgeoning damage from you running into the door. Part of her flank slams into the steel of the door. Isra, you are outside. You see the two vampire guardsmen get right up behind Cade as he slams into the door.
Did that dislodge the door at all? Any further?
It's a big, heavy door. I mean, it's a big, heavy horse. Like,
yeah, that's true. That's true. I will say yes. From the inside, Kalim, where you're standing, you see the entire door go boom, and then because there's already a hinge that's broken, you see it as it does that, and then like, and like it moves off of its axis a little bit, and it skews inward because it's only being held by the one hinge. It skews inward. Make a dexterity save if you could, please, Kalim. See if you roll out of the way of the door as it breaks and falls in.
That's a dirty 20. Natural 18 for +2. So.
And Cade, you manage to sidestep the door as it does break in and it slams down onto the floor. That mist starts pouring out into the night at this point, this red mist just outside. And you can see this scene that's going on. There's the vampire guardsmen that are all coming in to apprehend you all. And then you see past them, there is a figure who steps up, and as he steps up, that man who led you all into the trap is running. He turns around towards you guys to look, see what's going on, and he slams right into the chest of this man. This man is massive. He is 6.5 feet tall, extremely wide shoulders with huge bulging muscles that are kept back by his form-fitting suit. His head is completely bald, and he has a very stylized mustache and goatee type of look. His features are very sharp, severe, almost animal-like. The way he's dressed, the way he carries himself, this presence, you can definitely tell without a doubt that this man is not human anymore, although he probably was at one point. He just reeks power and opulence, and as the man slams into his chest, he looks down at him with a look of disgust, and he backhands him with a gloved hand, and that man spirals up and flips through the air, the entire one side of his face shredded and beat off, as he spins, he crumples into the ground into a bloody heap, and the man just looks down at his glove. It's got the blood kind of on the back of it, and he looks up towards all of you, and he gets a vicious grin, like he is excited that you all are here. And what's everybody else doing?
Well, I'm still not exactly solid, and I will. I'll kind of position myself kind of to the side, so I'm out of the way of both Kalim and Cade and Luna. And as I see this inhuman big guy, I'm gonna start to materialize and send a wave of mental energy its way to hopefully knock it off its feet just a bit.
Okay, towards this big guy?
Yeah, I want to cast Psychic Lance at him.
Oh, okay.
So that's an intelligence save.
Oh, really?
DC 16.
Oh, really?
Yes.
He looks really intelligent.
He looks so smart.
Probably his best save.
SMRT.
18 on the die. Plus 3 is a 21.
Okay, so he succeeds, but let's see. Okay,
He'll
yeah,
take
so he's not
damage.
incapacitated, but yeah, he'll take half damage.
Okay.
So he'll take half of 29 points.
So
So
we'll call that
that's a
14.
solid 14.
That's psychic damage, you
Of
said?
psychic damage.
Okay.
That's right.
Awesome. Okay. Your psychic lance blasts into this guy. He doesn't seem to even really respond, just to have that just vicious grin. You can see his elongated inside his canines stretching as he blasts into him. Flora, from where you're sitting in your room, you can hear all of this going on. You can hear people yelling. You can hear there was pounding. You could hear that something got run in. You actually heard a horse whinny. And if you move to the window, you'll be able to look out and see this happening in the distance from your vantage point, because you are high up in the spire, the blood spire.
I can see the whole group down there.
You can, yeah. And you see that Bram has made his presence known. He is standing there, and looks like he's, I wouldn't say squaring off, but he's looking at them like he's expectant.
I will twist the ring on my finger that summons Regia and start making my way down the spire toward them.
Okay. You do so, and yeah, you start making your way down the spire. Outside of the spire, all of you are standing there looking at this large man, and he goes, "Well, I've got to say, your reputations do precede you very well, Isra. But you will have to do better than that." And he doesn't do anything in terms of like drawing a weapon or anything like that, but you could tell this man is armed somehow. Like, he just seems like he's going to handle himself, I guess you could say. He has a certain air, something changes about him. He goes, "But I am not entirely ready to kill you all quite yet." And he takes that hand that's got the blood now dripping off the back of his glove, and he just flexes his fist like this, and there's a wave that comes out of the back of his hand, and I need everybody to please make an intelligence save.
I'm still technically in the room. I haven't gotten a chance to emerge yet.
That's true. I guess I kind of skipped over you. Cinematically,
That's okay.
Is there anything
That's
you wanted
okay.
to do, or?
Well, I was saving it. So if, like, do I need to make the save by being in the room? Does he have to, like, see me?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
say you're out of range. Yep.
I got a dirty 20.
Dirty 20?
7.
7. Oh boy. All right, so Cade, you pass. Isra, you do not. So Cade, you're going to take half damage. Isra, you're going to take full damage. Let me roll. Okay, so Isra, you're going to take 26 points of psychic damage, which means that Cade, you're going to take 13. As he actually, you can tell by the way it feels, you can tell by the way that was, it pretty much did the same thing that you just did, Isra, but somehow he did it on both of you at the same time.
Wow.
And then with that, Kalim, what do you wish to do?
Yeah, so as that has been happening, Kalim, like, getting out of the way of the, like, partially caved in door, picking himself up off of the ground, like, grabs onto the edge of the door, hoists himself up on top of it, and just walks down the broken angle of it. This, like, mixture of his own dark shadow writhing with the red mist as he steps out from this trapped room, completely unfazed by whatever it was, takes in the scene, locks eyes directly with this massive vampire person, and he yells out, echoing loudly across anything that could hear within blocks. He screams out, "Where is she?"
Excellent. And as your voice ripples out through the night and everybody around hears the power of this opulent moment, this gentleman, maybe a loose term in this point, just looks at you all and he goes, "Well then, let us have a little bit of fun, shall we? And as he begins to step forward towards you, other vampire guardsmen you see begin to come out of the shadows nearby. But we're going to take a break first because we can't possibly get into a combat right now. Let's take a moment. Let's step back, take 5 minutes. Everybody, please grab a drink, grab a snack, go ahead and have a little bit of a bio break while our characters regroup, refocus, and prepare to take this guy on. And there might just be the nine-fingered wonder about to come in and join. Sounds like maybe, I don't know, maybe. This will
Somebody
be great.
has to save us.
Somebody has to save you, indeed. So yeah, we'll see you guys very shortly. Thank you so much. We'll see you in just a little bit. Hello, welcome back. Here we are. We are back with Notte Eterna. We had a little bit of a break, and our heroes are about to get into things because that's what heroes do. We have ventured back into the Blood Domain to have 3 of the party members try to reunite with their 4th, who has been captured. But she's enterprising. She has a little bit of a plan in store on her own. Right now, the party has just escaped from a merely fatal trap placed upon them, and they are about to face off with a mysterious figure that is known to one of them, a tall, massive vampire who is ready to prove that he is dominant here. So, as we pick back up, and as things are about to get heated, let's go ahead and let's roll initiative.
Damn it.
I didn't actually roll like shit this time.
Nice.
Who are you
it.
and what have you done with Deb?
I
Who
don't
are you? All right, so you know what? Deb starts out. What did Flora get for her initiative?
24.
Wow, that is not bad
Damn.
at all. Yeah, that's really
damn
good.
good.
I love it. How about you, Cade?
I got a 10.
10? Okay. And Isra?
19.
No, 19. And Kalim?
21.
21. Okay. Very cool, very cool. All right, so let me go ahead and put this in order. And of course, we'll be Flora going first. So, Flora, I'm going to say it's going to take, just because of narrative, it's going to take basically, you'll get down to the ground level at like the second round, I guess you could say. So, unfortunately, we'll skip you for a second, but you're going to get on in there. Unless you do something besides run down to join up with your friends.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, so you continue to go down the stairs, making your way down there and getting down to where they are. So next up will be Kalim.
Yeah, so Kalim has seen what this large vampire dude in 2 tight-fitting clothes did, and he proceeds to yell out to... Actually, I don't even think he yells.
Okay.
I think he just stares at the man and then holds his hand up into the sky, and you hear him say, "I warned you that the darkness was coming." And he brings both hands up and tears into the fabric of reality as he utters arcane phrases and says, "Shadows aid me." And as he does that, materializing in front of him is a large, winged, shadowy form of a celestial spirit that is made half of radiance and half of darkness, with a wicked-looking blade across their hand. This is a guardian spirit.
Oh, wow. Absolutely. Yes. There is a celestial war that rages above Nier. And one of the figures from this war, one of the lesser generals perhaps of the Heavenly Army, has decided to answer your beckon and comes down from that celestial war to aid you all in this fight against this terrible vampire lord. And so, yes, as that creature comes in, so specifically, it's like you are summoning a celestial creature. So does it act on this turn or next turn?
It acts on my turn.
Perfect.
It basically acts with me. It takes no action for me to command it, and like it's got a full stat block and the whole 9 yards. And it is actually a large creature.
Ooh,
So it
very
appears in front of me here. Let me just double check what my
Oh, hello, friend.
Love it.
Yeah. That's what I'll do for that.
Right.
And he gets to go. He is going to surge over and attack the vampire guy.
Very cool.
He has +9 to hit. That is a you guys can see that in D&D Beyond, right?
Yep.
That's a natural 20 on the first hit.
Oh my. Alrighty. Love it.
I need to double check his damage here. Yep. So that's D10 +6. Oh my god, double 10s.
Wow.
Hell
26 points of radiant damage on the first strike.
yeah. Oof. It's all radiant, you said?
Uh-huh.
Oh my. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Because I also add my spell level to it.
Oh, wow.
So that's actually another, because that's not going to get doubled, so it's only +5 on top of that, so 31 points. And the creature can choose itself or another creature can see within 10 feet. So it gains 1d10 temporary hit points, so that's 2. And then it has a second attack. That's only a 16 to hit, which I assume misses.
16 does miss, unfortunately. Yeah. So as you come in, yeah, I'm assuming it has a sword. I'm assuming is what it's attacking.
It's like a celestial blade. It's almost amorphous though. It's like made of shadows, so like it's just pure radiance.
Yeah.
And so it, like, to some people it might look like a mace, to some people it might look like a giant sword. I think it changes. I think this creature being a maid of darkness and fearful to especially entities such as this, I think it manifests itself to look like whatever sees it is most afraid of.
Oh, okay, excellent. Love that. Yeah, so it as it swings down towards this vampire lord, it comes down, and as it does, it blazes through, the radiant energy rippling off of it almost like sunlight. And as it comes down and slices out towards him, he, without moving, he brings his hand up like he's going to wave, and a great sword materializes out of the air itself, summoned from his training, and he pulls it out and he slashes the blade, and it still manages to bite through his defenses, however, and slams in and does the damage to him. You can see radiant energy ripples down over his form, singes part of his cloak, his very fine attunement, I guess, as his clothing gets to burn and singe away from the radiant energy. But he does not look like he is too flummoxed from this, even though it would probably be very, very, very nasty to a regular vampire. This man, you all will be able to tell by the way that his features look, this man is one of the high vampires, one of the Hijlaki, so he has a little bit more of a strength to resist certain things, but it's a powerful blow. I love it. So that is Kalim's turn. So, unless there's anything else, I don't want to step over you. Are you doing anything?
That's it for me.
Cool. So then he is going to, with the greatsword in hand, he just reverses his grip. He slices out across, trying to savagely attack this celestial beast. And he is going to take a full attack with the greatsword. The first attack is going to be a 17.
That misses.
Okay. Oh, good to know. The second attack, however, will be a 20, dirty 20.
That hits.
Okay, so as the great sword comes in, this is a multi-page character sheet here. So as he hits out with that, it's going to be 2d6 plus. Okay, the celestial is going to take right off the bat. It's going to take 12 points of slashing damage,
Mhm.
and the celestial will need to. Oh, actually, hang on, let me rephrase that. Takes that 12 points. It takes an additional. How does necrotic damage affect the celestial? Does it have resistance? Does it have any sort of
Resistance.
It has resistance. Okay, so it's going to take an additional 3. That's after knocking it down. I'm sorry, not 3. I rolled a 3. Excuse me. It's going to take 1 point of necrotic damage, and then it is going to make a charisma save, please.
Okay. That's a 21.
Oh yeah, it's fine. Nothing else happens with that. But you see, as the sword moves, there is a shimmering red across the edge of the blade, almost like there is blood that trails down the side of it that is being drawn out of somewhere and being funneled to fight with. That is his 2 attacks, and then he is also going to, just because of the nature of how combat works, he's just basically going to end up kind of on the other side of the creature like this. He's just kind of moving in and around, bobbing and weaving as they fight.
Yep.
All right, so Isra, it's going to be your turn.
Okay, so seeing this enormous guardian showing up, perhaps she's seen it before, but she lets out a truly delighted laugh and puts out her hands and sends out 2 waves of eldritch energy at the 2 kind of at the bottom here.
Okay.
So I'll just
I don't
blast
think
'em.
Isra's actually ever seen this before. I think this is something
No?
that would be new for everyone to see.
Okay.
And I think it would probably be noticeable for Isra that this is something that Kalim almost detests having done.
Ooh. Interesting.
And also, Kev, if you'll allow it, I forgot to move. I think I would have moved up next to Isra, just as a protection for her.
Absolutely. I have to ask real quick, Isra, before you make your attack with your Eldritch Blasts. Did you allow that dark spirit to aid you, or are you still pushing that back, that creature that talked to you when you were still in the chamber, that one that said it could get you out of here if you allowed it to aid?
Jesus. I mean, I think they're always kind of just hanging out in the back of my mind, but I didn't reply to that message.
Okay. As you cast the spell, please make a wisdom saving throw.
Fuck. Okay. 22.
Okay. Again, you feel this malevolent force, this spirit. It's one of the several that you have that always reside within you as a medium. You've channeled them, you've harnessed them, you use their abilities. That's what gives you your power. This one has been trying to fight to the forefront. This one is stronger than the others, and he is really just forcing his will a little bit more, and you are barely holding him back at this point, but you are. So you cast the Eldritch Blast. So go ahead and make an attack roll, please. I'm assuming you're attacking the big guy, right? Who is, as we can see, this is Bram. Are you attacking him or someone else?
I'm
actually, the 2 at the bottom. The 2 below, you said. I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah, the 2 at the bottom.
Yeah.
First one definitely does not hit. Nope. Nothing.
Oh, no,
They're both
okay.
10s.
Okay.
So
the Eldritch energy streaks out and burns through the night and ripples and kind of singes down along the ground, flaking up sections of the cobblestone street here. And is that?
I'd imagine that the like voice in my mind sort of like throws me off a little bit, trying to push beyond it. because I have things at stake right now, and I'm trying to save my friend. But I think that distraction and that pull is too much, and it just messes with my magic.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Do you move at all, or you just stay right there?
I'm going to stay where I am.
Okay. All right, then. Sir Cade, you've been very patient. What do you do, sir?
Cade will make sure that his helmet is down.
Oh, yes.
He will raise up his sword, bring it towards his chin, and cast 3rd level as bonus action Hunter's Mark on the vampire that's north of the Big Daddy. Bran. That one there. Yes. And then we'll basically with the telepathic link that he's got with Luna, we'll say charge, and we're going to start off with a trampling charge towards that poor vampire that's soon to be vampire meat. No, this one here,
Up toward the top, yeah.
The top one.
This one here.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see that one.
No problem.
I don't actually have that one on the map. There we go.
But wait, there's more.
All right, so now I have to hit with a hose attack. Ooh, only a 10.
Okay. You spur
Total
Luna
miss.
onward, and she responds to the mental command as she goes forward, and she rears up and tries to trample down onto this figure. This vampire shoots through the distance between her legs and comes out the other side.
Perfect. Well, the general gist of that is, basically go and charge whether you hit or not, because I actually want Luna out of battle, so Luna will not stop. I, on the other hand, will be jumping off this horse and attacking. So as it kind of slips underneath the horse's legs, it comes from the other side to see me waiting, slashing down upon its neck.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
This one is not moving with practice. This one is basically unarmed. It's moving. It's on all fours. It's running and moving almost like it's savage or feral. And so it just kind of scurries underneath Luna and turns, hisses at you as it turns, and you rear your sword up.
17.
Yep, it makes contact. You bring it down. It slices into the creature's neck.
Alrighty, and I will, let's see, do damage. That is 8, and then 20 points of damage.
Ooh, yeah. All right. Yeah, you slice down, and yet it gets caught for a second in the clavicle. You see little bone shards fly out as you reverse and flinch off the strike. And you have more than one attack, though, right?
Yes, I do. As I slash down, then it will do kind of a twirl attack to finish up the job, hopefully.
Yeah.
And you said
18?
Cade is dismounting?
Yes, he's off of Luna now.
Yeah. Oops, I rolled the wrong one, actually. Oh, natural 20.
Oh, yeah.
So that will be
20.
11. 16. Is it times anything for the times 2?
Yeah, it's times 2. Yeah, you basically would double. You can either roll twice, or you could just double your die and then add.
Yeah, so I rolled 16, so it's 16 times 2.
The modifier doesn't double.
Right. The modifier would just be a stat.
It's just the dice.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So 1d6, that was 8. 28.
Another 28. 56. All right, cool. Yeah, you rip it free and you bring it down the other way, and so you've cut it in the one side, you pull it out, and like cutting a tree, you slice a V into the other side, and this creature's head just kind of, it's just held by flaps of skin at this point, and it looks like it's not too happy. It's not entirely dead, but you could tell it's going to be perished very soon. Anything else?
Well, I have moved and I have attacked. That's all I can do.
Okay, so that vampire is going to do a last-ditch effort to try to get at you. It is going to try to attack with a 15. It will miss you, Cade.
It will miss.
Yeah, so it just feebly claws and scrabbles its just open palms at you, trying to claw at you, and you just take your sword and finish it off the rest of the way, and it is gone out of the fight. The other remaining vampires, however, are still in this thing, so they begin to move in to try to assist the master that has come up here, and they move in. You see one of them comes at you, Kalim. Another
The
comes...
Celestial will get an opportunity attack on him.
Oh, cool. I love that. All right. Go ahead and roll it.
That's a 27 to hit
I think we could say that hits, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
for 16 damage.
16 damage. Ooh. Yes, the Celestial's radiant blade comes down and severs that vampire's arm just above the wrist. It's not a sword arm, but he just... He kind of staggers for a second as he tries to right himself and continues towards you. So now he does make his attack. They have 2 attacks. So the first one is going to be a 19.
That'll hit.
Okay, and then the second one is way low. It's like 12. So the first attack comes in. Like I said, they have long swords. You see that these long swords that these guys have a familiar red sheen to them. And as he swings it towards you, you can see the blade as shimmers and moves as if it's made out of semi-solidified blood. You are going to take 6 points of slashing damage. And please make a Constitution saving throw.
Dirty 20.
Okay. You can see that when it slashes across you, that blood moves across your wound, and as he finishes the swipe, it pulls off of you and like snaps back into the blade once more, part of it. It looks like it tried to do something to you, but you can feel there was like a weird burning sensation as that happened, but whatever it was trying to do, you are strong enough to fight it off, so you aren't affected any more than just the slash mark itself. So with that, it is going to be the other vampires here continue to move in. I'm assuming as this woman here moves in towards you as well, Kalim, that's another opportunity attack?
No.
Oh, because it's probably only going to have one. Yeah, that's
Right.
true. So she comes in towards you, Kalim. They, like I said, they have 2 attacks, so she's going to roll twice. Okay, one is an 18 plus 7, 25. The other one is going to be a 19.
They both hit.
Okay, again, longsword. So that's going to be that. Okay, the first one is going to be a 12. No, I'm sorry. I can't add 10. Excuse me.
Okay.
And then the second one is going to be 8. And they have that same kind of sword. Please make another Constitution save.
It's only a 14.
Okay. This time, as
unless
that...
it's against some kind of disease or poison.
No, it's like an additional effect. So as this time, as her blood blade swipes across you and it pulls off of you and snaps back into itself, you're going to take an additional, where to go? Right here. 10 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
Alrighty. And then that is going to be their turn, and that one that Kate fought over here is dead.
Is she dead, or is she... I thought you said she was still clinging to life.
Yeah, but then as he fought her and stuff, she kind of just died.
Oh.
So she's gone. And then I believe it's everybody. Oh no, this guy down here. Then there's one last guy down here at the bottom. Again, they're trying to protect the master here, so they come up towards you. And as he moves past you, Kalim, you can have an attack opportunity if you wish, as he moves towards to try to get at... Actually, you know what? Check that. He's going to go out and around this pillar over here and try to get to Isra, so he's not going to get to her yet. But
Yep.
He'll be smarter about it. All right, so top of the round. Flora, you get down to the base of the tower, and you turn. You can see all that's going on. You see a giant celestial shadow thing standing right behind Bram, and all of your allies are here in the middle fighting some vampire guards.
Can I see Bram?
Oh yes, he's get my pointer here. He's this gentleman here.
Great. Flora's gonna take out one of her bells from her bandolier and ring it, and she is going to cast Crown of Madness on Bram. So he needs to make a Wisdom 17 save.
Oh boy! All right. He's got a +2. Oh no, that's a 4, yo. But this guy is going to use a legendary resistance to not have that happen. So he's going to automatically pass his save. I will say, in the fairness of being a cool dungeon master, he has 2 of those, so he did use that. So that you guys know. So with that being said, you can tell that there's this crown, like the song, the Dolores bells kind of ring out, and it shimmers through the air, and a crown does start to appear around his head, but it just kind of evaporates just as quickly as it's passing.
What did that sound like again?
It's almost like the $6 Million Man, but it's not quite, you know. Anything else you want to do?
Flora will just move a little closer.
Okay. Absolutely. Nice. I will say, from your vantage point of where you are at, Cade, you can see Flora coming in to aid you all. But it is Kalim's turn.
Go ahead and have the defender, the Celestial Defender, take their turn first.
Okay.
So, first attack. Oh, that's a natural 1, so that's gonna miss. He still gets the temporary hit points effect though, so I think that's going to go to Cade. Now that Cade is close, Cade gets 1 temporary hit point. And then second attack is a 23 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that hits.
Oh yeah.
Okay. For 17 points of radiant damage. And I think he will give the temporary hit points to Kalim now that Kalim has moved closer. Kalim gets 10 temporary hit points. And then on Kalim's turn, he feels a little bit surrounded here. But I think that's okay for him. He is going to cast... Wait, I don't think I can... Nope, I can't cast that because I have to... That's right, okay. Well, shoot. My plan just got thrown out of whack. Oh well. I will attack.
All right.
So that is... I shit you not. You guys are seeing these in D&D Beyond, right?
Got another natty 20?
That's another natural
Yes.
20.
Oh, baby.
So I'm
yeah.
going to say that's on this this one here.
So what happened was I should say the Hijlaki filled you all with anger and hatred and vengeance, and D&D Beyond is here for it.
Yeah, most definitely. So that's only 9 points of slashing damage, but then it is also 9 points of radiant damage as well.
Okay.
And I am going to, because that does not require any extra effort on my part, I am going to cast Spiritual Weapon at 4th level.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I have enough, summoned things around for me
Hey,
to
you know,
have
tough.
to deal with.
That's it. Let's bring your steed back. And
I mean,
get everything.
technically, he's still here.
Yeah, just hiding away.
Yeah.
God, we get it. You're powerful.
Yeah, I
Jeez.
know, right? Jeez.
So the spiritual weapon, I think, appears behind this guy.
Perfect.
And that's going to be 22 to hit.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
For 12 points of force damage.
Okay. 30. All right. So yeah, as you do that, the spiritual weapon comes in. He's trying to bob and weave and get the longsword going. There's blood that's dripping and flaking off, and you can see part of the handle is almost looks like it's embedded into his hand somehow. And as he's moving around, the spiritual weapon comes down, catches him by surprise, and slices into his back, and he just but pulls himself back into the fight. And with that, the big guy turns towards you all, and he takes that great sword and he puts it up into the air, and it spins, and he grabs it. So now he's holding a Florentine style, so the blade's down here. And as he does, he strikes down through the air. He says something in a language that nobody here understands, and then he disappears.
Fucker.
What a punk.
And as he disappears, Isra, you feel something rush past you, almost like a cold wind past the side of you. And as that happens, you almost swear you hear a in it as he does something.
Wow.
But Isra, it is your turn. You see the other vampires are starting to move in.
That feeling of that presence in my mind, having almost taken over, impeded my abilities to do what I wanted to do. There's frustration, but also I think there's a little bit of resignation. And standing next to Kalim, I feel a little safe. And I think Isra's just going to give in to that presence in her mind.
Oh boy. Okay. You feel your defenses drop, your mental barrier that you have within, that you've been fighting and struggling with to keep this spirit at bay. And when you finally let it go, you feel it step forward. The rest of you see Isra just outwardly just kind of almost like she gets a chill or something. And then you feel that there is a darkness within you, a hunger almost of something that wants vengeance, wants pain, wants destruction. And with that, you feel your magic start to bubble over, almost like if you're holding the top of a pot down and it's starting to boil over, and you're starting to hold it back by hand, and you can feel the heat burning your palm and forcing you to want to try to let go. There's a deep magic within you that is starting to come to the surface, stronger than what you've been dealing before. And yeah, you let it go for a moment. So as you channel the spirit, as you focus the energy, what's going to happen is your magic is going to get slightly more powerful as this goes on, but you're going to lose part of yourself, as it were. So being a spiritualist, you have spirit points. Okay, your spirit point total is going to increase by 4, which puts it over the max that you're allowed to have for your level, which is normally equal to your level, correct? So you only have, 7, 8? I think you have.
I have 8.
You have 8, right? So yeah, so it increases to 11, unless you've spent some. It increases that just by 4, so it'd be 12. And all of the spells that you cast that are from your warlock class are going to have the DC increased by 2. While this thing possesses you. But there'll be something else going on too, which we'll get into when it happens. So when that happens, you feel the need to want to destroy creatures around you and just have vengeance, have power, feel the bloodshed, and join the war. So, what would you like to do?
Well, I will take a few steps back, sort of putting my shoulders back and like feeling sort of like a different presence within myself. Like I'm sort of like testing out how my body works. And I'm going to, seeing the guy that sort of dipped around to come at me, I'm just going to hold my hand out and blast him.
Blast him. You're trying to blast let's see, this gentleman over here?
Yes.
All
Yeah,
right.
so with the additional 2, that would be a 16 to hit.
That'll hit him exactly.
Okay. And I get a second, which I'll just send right over his way as well.
Nice.
Woof. That's a 13.
Okay. So the first one
I'm still
does...
figuring this magic out.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So, yeah, the first one hits him square in the chest. The other one veers off as he staggers back from it. The aim goes a little bit off because he moved.
Okay, and that's 5 points of damage.
Okay. Force damage.
Yeah. And yes, that's okay, yeah, no, I'll use my connection with this now that it's sort of enveloping me. I'm going to use my Vessel of Souls ability to add a little extra. So that's another 6 points of damage.
Okay.
As I sort of start to reconnect with what is going on in my mind and body.
Okay. As you're blasting this individual, you hear the voice, "Yes, this is the way. Pain is a way to greatness. I will show you the way." And you see that the damage being inflicted upon the guy seems to be inflicting greater as well. It seems to be it's been having a little bit of a boost too. So, that's it for your turn?
Yes.
All right. Cade, you're up, good sir.
Cade will talk to Luna and basically state, find out if that is Flora, if that is really Flora, and just gonna like smell her out. And it was like, I don't trust anything. This could be an illusion. So it's like, I'm trusting the horse to know, is this friend or foe? Because I'm changing the hunter's mark, and I need to know if I'm going to put it on Flora or if I'm going to put it on someone else.
You know, you could just do that anyway. I mean, I don't want to, you know.
So it's like, moving the mark.
Yeah.
Don't know if friend or foe at the moment, but we'll wait to hear something back from Luna before moving the mark towards Flora. But we'll go ahead and do it towards this one here, in between the spiritual weapon, and we'll run off and attack. I can move 40 feet, so I'm sure I could probably reach him and do an attack.
Okay. As you're moving that way, Cade, does a 23 hit you?
Yes.
You feel a massive sharp pain and a huge blow to your torso as something, a blade you can tell, slams into you and rents out through your stomach. And you're going to take, because it is a great sword, almost dropped that one on the floor, you're going to take 13 points of damage. And I need you to make a
Don't forget about your
Constitution
one temporary hit point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Son of a bee. Constitution?
Yes, sir.
That's a 1.
Nat 1?
Nat 1. Which makes sense. I didn't know it was coming. So, Nat 1. It's like, "Ugh, ugh."
Cade, as the sword hits you in the stomach and you feel it dig in so deep, it almost feels like it's cutting you in half. With that one of a Constitution saving throw, you fall unconscious.
Oh, snap.
You fall right down to the ground. So you guys see Cade. He
Ooh.
starts to charge forward, his sword in hand, and he has the helm. The eyes flare a bright red, almost like they're on fire. And then you see him just kind of crumple in on himself and slam down into the ground. And he looks like he's dead. I mean, it's that sudden and that quick. And then when that happens, you see. Oh, hey, I'm on the wrong button. That the big guy rematerializes right next to Cade with the big giant greatsword, and there is a black ichor dripping down the side of it, and he just has that really wide grin on his face again. One down, he says. And but anyway, Cade, now that you've fallen unconscious, I need you to make a death saving throw. Because he's got a nasty gross sword.
Just so you know, I have an item. I don't know if this will help in any way.
What is that item?
It is the periop of wound closure. Whenever you wear this pendant, you stabilize whenever you are dying at the start of your turn. In addition, whenever you roll a hit dice to regain hit points, double the number of hit points. So.
Okay. So as you drop, there is a flash on the pendant, and you are stabilized. But you are still unconscious.
Gotcha.
Okay. So that's Cade's turn. All right. Vampies. So this one that you just tried to attack, Isra is going to come in at you. And he's going to make his 2 attacks. Oh, geez. I just almost knocked all my dice on the floor. Okay. He's going to miss you with a 13, but I'm probably sure he's going to hit you with a 19.
Yes, that'll hit.
Okay. All right. The one that hits is going to do 9 points of slashing damage as the long sword comes in, slashes forward. I need you to please make a Constitution saving throw because they have these weird blood blades.
Blood blade.
Bloody blades. Not to be confused with blood darts or
21.
bloody darts. What, 21?
21.
Okay. You are okay. You won't take any additional damage, but you are hit. All right. The 2 that are down on you, Kalim, are going to try to gang up on you and try to just push their advantage, which probably is a bad move for them. The first one is going to miss you twice with a 9 and a 16, 15. I'm always misadding stuff that has 9 added to it. I don't know what my deal is. Wow. The other guy rolls even lower.
I'm okay with that.
A 9 and an 11. So yeah, so they come at you and they are just totally trying to waylay you. And Kalim, you're just snapping your weapon out of the way, maybe even turning. It glances off your armor. Just you're not even affected by what's going on. You only have eyes for the prize, and you are focused on the celestial, focused on the big guy. And back to the top of the round, Flora. You see Bram standing there looking very smug, and look at that. He's like directly in front of you.
Look at that. I am going to cast Dissonant Whispers. Take out another bell. So he needs to try and make another Wisdom 17 save.
Okay, okay. He's got a +2, I think we figured out. Yeah. Whoa, that went way up there. 9.
Great.
Suck it.
Assuming he's not going to use a legendary resistance on.
Suck at your back.
Sure.
He takes 15 points of psychic damage.
Okay, 15 points of psychic damage. Put some at this.
And must immediately use his reaction, if he hasn't used it already, to move as far away from me as possible.
Aha. Says this is a new
Bye.
round. Now, he would not have used it because his reaction last would have been last round would have been to attack of opportunity Cade as he ran past him.
Right.
So now he does. So his reaction he has to use his time is to do what now? I'm sorry.
Move as far away from me as possible.
Well, he
I
doesn't
love it.
have a reaction to use, though, because he hasn't taken a turn yet. He doesn't get his reaction back until his turn.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So then he can stay where he is. But yeah, damage.
All right.
And then I think like through the haze of whatever Kalim is up to, he hears the ringing of one of Flora's bells, and she gives him bardic inspiration.
Why, thank you.
Ooh, nice. I love that. They've just reunited and there's already teamwork. I love it. All right.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Yes. You're all set?
I will keep moving over a little bit more.
Okay, yeah, you move over closer to the battle for sure. Kalim, you feel inspired. You can feel that Flora's presence has returned, and you feel a little bit of that anger and that hatred is kind of smoothed over a little bit, but it still remains. So what would you like to do?
So the first, I'm gonna go ahead and have the Celestial Spirit go first, and they are going to hold their blade forward, pointed at the vampire, but then slowly lower it down until it touches Cade's chest, and Cade will heal.
Woot.
21 points of health.
Wow.
Whoa.
Nice.
Wow.
And then it's technically standing over Cade. I'm going to move him slightly just to get him out of the way. There. It's technically standing over. It moves to protect Cade, basically. To stand over top of him. And I am sorry about this, Isra, but I don't have a choice, I think. Kalim will once again hold a hand up into the sky and grab on to the invisible shadows above and yank them down in front of him, and a rupture of daylight appears in the area around. So
Nice.
in a 60-foot radius sphere, 60-foot radius on me,
Okay.
daylight.
So all of this, yeah.
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 But like a significant portion of the area around the pillar or around the obelisk is now illuminated in daylight.
Mm-hmm.
That was my action. So as my bonus action, the spiritual weapon is going to attack that same person as before. And miss. That's only a 12.
Okay. As the daylight burns down on everything, you see all of the lesser vampires. Instantly their skin starts to bubble and churn and char, and you can see that the big guy, the bald guy, as he looks and he sees the daylight coming down, he kind of averts his eyes slightly just out of reflex. But then you see him stand upright and he turns to face you directly, Kalim. Do you think I will not be prepared for the tricks you have done before? And he's going to attack you. Not with his sword. Oh, no, no, no. He's going to cast a spell on you. Cast a spell on you. You're going to take... 1 second here.
Check for opportunity.
I don't think he gets an attack of opportunity from doing that.
I don't think so. I don't think so. That'd be sweet, though.
No, I meant I do.
Oh, you do?
I'm gonna wake up and be like, cast a spell right next to me, motherfucker.
Oh, you have Mage Slayer?
No.
Oh, you just wanted one. I
Just
just want one. All right. Kalim, there are 4 bolts that out of his hand and streak through and unerringly slam into your chest. You're going to take 14 points of force damage
Okay.
from the magic missiles that slam into you. And then as he finishes casting that, you see him kind of rub his hand down the side of his blade. He's not touching it, but there is energy that siphons between himself and the blade. And you can see the blade starts to glow if glow is the right word for this weird shadow energy that starts to spread across it. You have brought the light. I will return the dark to you. He says with a big, widening grin, and his teeth start to elongate. His features get more bestial, and you can tell that he's really drawing upon his Laki blood, which is making him stronger and more powerful than a typical vampire. And with that is going to be Isra's turn.
So when Kalim casts daylight, normally it's unpleasant for Isra, but currently with this strong shadow entity sort of taking over her body, it's fairly excruciating. The shadow that is like sort of like formed inside and outside of her like vibrates, and she feels her whole body sort of like it feels like it's being pulled apart and sewn together and pulled apart, and she screams, and all she can do is put out her hands directly on the guy in front of her, and at disadvantage she'll cast Eldritch Blasts at him.
Perfect.
That was a natural 20 and a 17, so a 25 for the
man.
first one.
Party's on fire.
Point blank.
All right. Love it.
Yeah, so that is
I think what
8
happens
points
is
of
part
damage.
of that dark spirit within you, because it's so bloodthirsty and it's so thrown off by the radiance that's coming down under the daylight. The one hand that makes the nat 20, it actually reaches forward and grabs this guy's face. And so when the Eldritch Blast explodes, it's like right into his face. You feel part of his skin and his bone and his head beneath kind of liquefy and slam off with the impact of the Eldritch Blast. And then it also spreads and down with the other one. What was the other attack roll? Not 20. The other one was 17, I think you said.
Oh, that was so the 17 was the disadvantage on that first roll.
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
so the second roll is only a 12. That tracks.
All right.
So I believe it was 6 points of damage, but I'm also going to again, with this shadow energy within me, I'm going to use a Vessel of Souls for some more damage, and it's 5 more points of damage. The shadows in my body just keep like vibrating and tearing at me as I stand there screaming.
Make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay. 5.
You feel, because of the daylight, one of these souls within you, one of these dark spirits, gets violently ripped out of your body as it's actually obliterated and destroyed by the radiance of the daylight. You feel it just pull out of you, and it feels like your back is just shredded as this thing slams out. You see this dark form. It looks like a human that's been warped and twisted by shadows, just kind of screaming. It's not the one that you're currently embracing, I guess you could say. It's another one. You feel part of your power lance away and flow off with it, but you're okay, but you lose a little bit of yourself, you feel like, because you've been with them for so long. It's hard to tell where they start and you end. And anything else you'd like to do?
Nope.
Okay. Cade
has been through a lot. So after his, being impaled by invisible blade of darkness, and his eyelids just kind of going through, he felt his heartbeat go through his chest and just slowly kind of like stop. And as he fell to the ground, he felt the warmth on his chest, and he just heard a voice, a whisper in his ear, just reminding him to be the light, to get up, to stand up. And then as he opens his eyes, he sees radiant light. He sees that kind of like winged creature basically heal him to almost full hit points. And so he's still kind of looking, trying to make it as he's still he hasn't gotten up. He's still like in awe of what he's just experienced. But he suddenly, his senses come back to him, and he can hear the sounds of the combat of his friends and the smirking of our enemies, and the shrieking of spirits getting ripped from people's bodies. He instantly is going to come to, and he's going to attack. He is going to, since he's still on the ground, he is going to, since technically he's closer to the enemy than it looks because we put the angelic creature there. He is going to do two things. He's going to roll over, and he's got his helmet on, so he's just gonna be like, and he's gonna he doesn't want him to escape, and he doesn't want him to turn invisible again. So he's gonna roll over, and he's going to slam into his foot.
Ooh, like pin him. Yeah.
And he's going to pin him and click the immovable rod, just boom, right on his foot.
Oh, snap. Alrighty.
So that will be his first attack. Do I get any bonus? I don't know if he's surprised or anything like that. I don't know, because does he know that, he's back, or because I just fell?
Right.
Like, is he expecting it? Is he expecting anything from me? Like his
this celestial creature is like made of shadow, and like the depiction of it is that shadow is just like wafting off of it. So I could see Cade like quote unquote hiding in the skirts of it.
Yeah,
He was right over me.
For sure. Now, I think Bram, being who he is, part of the royal line, he is someone who specifically has been born and bred to be a warrior, to be someone who can destroy mortals. I think he's always battle vigilant. And however, you are hiding, you are trying to do that. So what I did was I made a nice roll, and I found that with the natural 1 I just rolled, that he loses you in the fight. You catch him completely unawares when you stab down into his foot and you click the immovable rod.
So now that it doesn't really, I don't think it does any damage. It's just, it's just a massive weight making him immobile. If he were to attempt to move it, he would have to do a DC strength check 30 to move it 10 feet off his foot. But now, since I've rolled up and clicked on the rod, he's going to reach for his sword to kind of come up to attack, but he's going to, I guess, narratively accidentally pull the wrong sword. He's going to pull the blood sword. He's going to pull the one from darkness and let it take over his hand. And he's going to come up, and he's going to do like a springing up, and just, now that I know that he can't move, and as soon as he looks down to like, what the hell was that? Boom, with the same type of sword that he has, and just gonna do one last vengeful blow, like you. Yeah. All right. Gonna go straight towards it. I don't have it.
Interesting that happens here.
I don't even have that on my sheet. I don't know what to roll. So.
Yes. It's all right. You reach down and you grab onto that hilt. I mean, you had the cloth and stuff all wrapped around it so that you wouldn't be able to accidentally grab it. For some reason now, when you reach for it, that cloth seems to move away on its own accord. The tendrily parts of the basket hilt move and gesticulate, and when you put your hand down and you grasp a hold of it, I need you to make a charisma save. Please.
18.
As you grab a hold of the blade, how to say this? When you grab a hold of the blade, it feels like you are ripping it out of someone else's hand. It feels like you're disarming an enemy and taking their weapon. There's something that seems to change about the aspect of the battle. And the basket hilt gesticulates and weaves and clasps tight around your hand. It like forms and melds around your hand. making a perfect fit for you to wield. And when you attack Bram with the blade, go ahead and attack.
Should I just roll my longsword +1?
Yeah, just, yep. It's going to adhere and kind of become whatever blade that you typically use, basically.
Only a 13. But I'll roll lucky. Screw that. I have another one. It's story.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's see what we got. Oh, that's even worse. 11 again. Sorry.
No.
Can't use another one, so.
So out of curiosity, though, is having with the immovable rod, does that make the dude restrained?
Oh, that's a good
point.
question.
Because that renders
You know what?
that makes his speed 0 and potentially gives advantage on attacks against him.
I think it would, because he's pretty much pinned to the ground. I think it would for sure. For sure.
He's trying to help you out there, Adrian.
Hey, no,
Thank you.
I like it. I like it. Makes sense narratively, I think. Yeah, for sure.
Well, then 19.
19. You slice up with the blood blade and you stab out, you slice, however it is you want to do it. You go ahead and describe.
Basically, once the immovable rod clicks and he looks down and the blade is now coming to my arm, he will just look down to see the red eyes of the dread helm as he propels up and does a slice from like in between the legs on up and just like comes out. Basically, it looks like he comes out of the shadow, the winged shadow creature, almost as if he was the shadow creature's shadow. He comes out, burst out from it. Kind of like when Captain America has Mjolnir and he hits Thanos, he just like boom, he just like hits him right in the chin, just for the sword, and then he just comes and lands with the blade, knowing that he can't move because he's immovable.
Absolutely. All right, so you do hit. Yeah, you slam into him, and he reels back his head. There's like a popping sound in his neck. What's the damage on that?
The damage is... that will be 8 points of damage.
8. Okay.
Oh, sorry. +3, 11.
11 points of damage. Okay. I will say...
I don't have Hunter's Mark because I fell unconscious.
Oh, okay. I will say, Cade, you can feel that there's more that this blade can do, but you need time to study it and maybe attune yourself to how that would work. But 11 points of damage. As you hit, the blood on the blade, it kind of shifts and shimmers. It's not just a red blade like we talked about. It's like the blade seems to kind of materialize and turn into solidified blood. And as you hit him and it moves and shifts, part of it comes back on you as well. You inflicted 11 points of damage. You're going to take 4 points of damage yourself from using it, because you are still alive and not an undead.
Right.
So, but it's pretty good. It seemed, like I said, there's other effects too. We can get into that if you retain the blade. That's it for you? Okay. So, Miko, I have to ask you, remind the daylight that's all around and everything, the vampires are going to take their typical daylight damage, I guess you could say?
Yeah, it's basically like full sunlight. It's not like a regular light spell. It is full on daylight. Any disadvantage effects, no healing, all of that kind of stuff from normal vampire spawn type creatures.
Yep. Just writing down their damages. Yeah, their skin continues to bubble and singe and burn away, and you can see that one of them, the one who is directly in front of you, the one who's been getting hit with the spiritual weapon, you see it's too much for him. He gets borne down to the ground, and he is damaged. The other one, the woman next to him, she looks like she is severely injured, but she is still trying to fight. She gets knocked down to her one knee, and she's trying to stand, trying to get back to you, and trying to get her sword back up. The one that's over by you, Isra, is having a hard time as well. It seems to be having no effect whatsoever on Bram. But it is your turn. It is your turn, Flora. They lose their attacks because they're just so overwhelmed.
Great. Now that she is close enough, she's going to take out a couple more bells and sort of flourish them in her hands and make them ring. And she's going to cast Animate Dead on this dead old Deddy next to her.
Nice. Dead old Deddy.
Dead old Deddy. And then with my bonus action, I can use that to command it to do something. So I'm going to tell it, Bram is your enemy. Help us fight him.
Nice. Alrighty. I love it.
So
Dead.
it gets to attack then, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah, just and the head is just kind of
Lolling to the side.
but yeah, it's messed up because of what Kate did to it. But yeah, it attacks him. So let's see. It's gonna be. Oh, that's a 19. Now I'm gonna roll good. 19 plus 6 is going to hit him. So it just kind of slices out and slices into his inner thigh. And he's going to take 4 points of damage. I love it. I love it. Yeah. So you have a little helper, as it were. And yeah, it takes a little bit of a chunk out of the inside of his leg. What else are you doing?
That is it for me. I'm gonna stay where I'm at.
Nice. Okay. Kalim.
We will start with attacks from the Celestial Defender. All these are going to be on Brom.
Mm-hmm.
First attack is it's a miss. Only in a 12. And then the second one is a 24, so that's going to hit.
Yes, sir.
Cade gets 3 temporary hit points.
Nice.
And I get 9. And then the damage was 19 points of radiant damage.
Okay.
I am going to cast a 4th level guiding bolt at Brom.
Hell yeah.
That's a 25 to hit. For 25 points of radiant damage.
Nice. Radiant damage. All right.
And oh, you know what? I should have done this first. Oh well. I am going to channel Dark Fear. So that is going to force all of the 3 vampire spawn as well as Brom to roll a intelligence saving throw. I'm sorry. Intelligence saving throw.
Okay.
DC is 17.
Okay. DC 17. Let me check real quick. He is going to pass with an 18.
Okay.
Lucky for him, 15 plus 3. And then they are going to only get a 13.
Okay. So they have to use their reaction to flee.
Okay. This seems to be a familiar tactic with you all. I love it. Okay, cool. Make a note here. Nice. Just bringing all the heaven down. I love it.
Yep. So any of them that move, we get opportunity attacks on.
Of course. I love it. Cool. Alrighty. So.
Well, I'm assuming they actually have reactions. I don't know if they do in the daylight or not.
No, they lose them, unfortunately. But,
Okay.
well, Bram still has his because he's got something
But he's
special
not.
going on.
He made the save, so he doesn't
Yeah,
have
but he
to.
made a save anyway. Yep. So, yeah, they start to. That was your turn. So yeah, so Bram is going to see what all's going on, and he is going to turn, and he's going to attack you, Kate. Let me get a stat back up. 17.
I'm sorry, are you attacking me?
Yes.
Yes, you hit. 17.
I'm sorry, are you attacking me?
Yeah, I was just actually looking through my character sheet. I was like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
god. I was looking at my abilities and
Yeah.
I wish I read it earlier.
I'm sorry. So that did or did not hit?
It did hit. I have an armor class of 17.
Okay. Alrighty. Right. So yeah, he is going to hit you. Great sword.
Mm-hmm.
15 plus. No, that's no. 15. It's late, guys. Sorry. Plus, what is it? Plus 4. 11 points of damage.
All right.
And then he is going to look at you, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Give me 1 second here.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to see if I get advantage or not. I'm just looking because vampire being a chosen enemy,
Oh, sure.
but that's just for
is.
survival and tracking.
Okay.
So, wisdom 13.
13. Okay.
I will use my final lucky.
Oh, okay.
My final lucky. Do it right. There we go. 20.
That's better.
All right. Yes, indeed. Okay. So, yes, you push through everything that's going on, and you just continue to be okay, apparently. So, how's this look like for you?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What does this look like? How do you deal with this?
Well, he hit me and then he was staring at me.
Oh yeah, okay.
And so, I mean, I think he was really just staring into the red eyes of the helm and realizing that
He was just taken aback by the beauty of the helm, for sure. Yeah, you feel he tries to assert his dominance over you, but you are just too emboldened for that. The heat of the moment, all the things that are going on, you're not going to fall for such a trick.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, though. That's what he's got.
Okay.
Because he can't move.
Yeah.
Because
he can't move. And Isra.
Yes. I'm still being pulled apart. It's uncomfortable. And in all of this, it's quite all right. I still have my hand on the chest of the guy that's in front of me from when I attacked him.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna put my arm out to the side and I'm going to send an Eldritch Blast over to Bram.
Oh yeah.
You have advantage on it.
Yep.
I don't. It's a straight roll.
Straight roll instead of disadvantage.
Yeah. 18.
And 18 hits.
Okay, so that first attack, that is 11 points plus 5, so 16 points total. And then I'll take my second attack. This one's not at advantage, right?
He's restrained.
Oh, okay, great. So 19 to hit then.
Okay, yep.
and that'll be another 11 points of damage, force damage. And I can do something. Hang on. With away from
Beth,
me,
I'm
the
not going to delay
streamlight.
the inevitable because you're already at enough. So how does this look like? How do you take this guy out? How do you destroy him?
Well, I essentially imagine that this whole shadow situation with my body is like what like venom does when you hear like a high frequency and it just sort of like fucks everything up.
Yeah.
So I've got that vibe going on, and I send this energy out. It sort of like rolls off of me and through like a there's like a shadowy hand that extends from my own, and it's like the magic sort of comes off of that. And as it goes forward to hit it, what I was looking for was that I have the ability to push them 10 feet away from me on these attacks. So with those hits, I was going to shove him. So you might bump into you, Cade, but like it's just such a like concussive wave of force that sort of like sends directly through his chest and like I guess explodes him a little bit.
Nice. Yes, you see gore and viscera kind of spray all over you, Cade. And as he begins to have the edges of his visage kind of start to crack and lose their structure, he looks at you and he maintains that grin. And as his body begins to be destroyed by the radiant energy, by the blast from Isra, you see he just kind of turns into this weird mist and then blasts away from you all.
Good. That will end my turn.
Okay. Alrighty. Cade.
Who's left?
There are
Bunch of
Oh.
frightened vampire spawn.
it was like, oh, okay. He'll pick up the rod, deactivate it, and just kind of look around. Let's see who to kill. Let's go to this
Dealer's
one.
choice.
Let's go kill this one.
all right.
And we'll attack. See if he'll start enjoying the pain a bit. So he's going to attack with
Let's
the blood blade.
go.
With the blood blade.
Yeah.
Ooh. Still getting used to it. He rolled a 9, but we'll roll again
Mm-hmm.
for a second attack. Ooh. 14.
Whew. Yeah, you come forward and just two wild arcs. It's almost like the blade is just really throwing off your game. It's weird. Like it's got a weird way it's gripping. It's kind of digging into your hand with each attack. It's weird. It's bizarre. And yeah, you have a hard time maintaining your warrior training. So you don't make contact with this guy.
Do I take damage? I mean, when I inflict damage or when I use it?
It's when you. It seems to be whenever you inflict damage because nothing happens just from you swinging it around. So.
Oh, well, that's a good test. All right.
Yeah, there we go. Alrighty, so they all need to try to get away. So, attack of opportunity against the one who is directly in front of you, Isra. So, as he tries
Wonderful.
to flee. Run away!
That's also in front of Cade.
That's true, too.
I'm just going to use a dagger because that's what I would have on hand.
Okay.
I mean, there's an argument
Natural
to be
20.
made here. Oh, never mind.
Natural 20.
You're at disadvantage,
For a
though.
total of 27. Well, shut up. How about?
I mean, there's an argument to be made here that Isra maybe wouldn't do it. Like, being torn apart by the light and shadow and all of that.
I mean, that is
and having to,
fair.
like, draw the blade and everything.
That
Just
probably
saying.
wouldn't. Yeah.
And maybe Cade
Instead
cuts it down
of-
in front of her. Who knows?
Yeah, that's 11 points.
Instead of
Rolled a 19.
attacking, I'll just scream some more.
Okay. Yeah, so you fall actually to your knees, and then you fall forward, and your hand, you kind of grab onto the ground, and you're trying to steady yourself, and you all see these writhing shadows, these spirits. It almost looks like ghosts. These shapes are just writhing and twisting and turning and snapping, and just this strange amalgamation of all these things inside of her that are fighting for dominance. But there is one of them that is still focused, is still a part of you, and he reaches down, and you feel your body start to take on a shadowy kind of black form as he digs his fingers into the ground to steady you and to bring your focus back in. And you feel the spirits try to get pulled back into you, and the struggle continues, but you're starting to get a little bit more control because of the strength that he's sharing with you. I'm going to say, for the sake of argument, because of the fact that the daylight's going to last for a bit still, these shadows are just going to be, these spawn are going to be easy for you all to maintain. So I would assume you all just kind of go about your business, attacking them and destroying them. They're all very weak on hit points anyway. They're taking tons of radiant damage from the daylight, but...
I had this notion that one of them would be left alive at the end, and that Kalim would drop the daylight just before it perished and grab it by tearing his gauntleted hand into its chest to hold it, rather than grabbing it by the collar,
Sure.
physically just rending into it, bringing it to his face and warning it. You tell everyone they have a new darkness to worry about. And if they ever come for me or my companions, it will never cease. And then just flinging him away.
Excellent. And as the combat comes to a close, you all stand there, looking at one another. The townsfolk nearby are at a distance where they're all just looking, and you hear a familiar voice. I knew they were going to come and save us. Look what they have done. It's that guy who led you all into the trap. I knew you were strong enough.
I just sick the shadow or the celestial on him.
Oh,
that guy's fucked.
Yeah, he goes running, and the celestial just silently turns, grabs a sword, and floats after him, goes to catch up to him. But what do you all do? Reunited, the four of you together, you all came to save Flora. Here she is. What's different about Flora is she seems to have some sort of very fanciful, beautiful gown on. Her hair is done up differently. She is, in fact, missing one of her fingers, you notice, because the way she's holding her hands. Flora, I want to ask you something. So, Deb, you can kind of decide this in the interim time between when you were left behind and when you were here with them. Do you think that in a manner to keep you cowed and to keep you in line, do you think they would have made you remove your makeup?
It's on magically, so they could have tried, and it would not have worked.
Excellent. I love that. Miko's like, I'm not making another art, man. I saw him okay, yeah, for sure. You look, and yeah, she looks at you all, and yes, still looks the same with her countenance, her makeup, the way that she carries herself is the same, but you can tell that she's kind of been incorporated into whatever it is they're doing here. And as you're all standing there seeing each other, what do you all wish to say? The townsfolk are giving you guys all a wide berth. Some of them are kind of cheering and making a scene, but the other vampires that are around are telling them to be quiet or whatever. Nobody's coming to attack you guys now. They're all giving you guys all a look, but they're all looking to see what's going on. What do you guys do?
Kev, when the daylight spell dissipates, what's going on with the primary shadow?
Mm-hmm. When the daylight is released, The spirits eventually reach an equilibrium with the fact that the pain that they're feeling and the being pulled away, it subsides. So eventually the calm does come. They do kind of get pulled back in. That main one, this male presence, this masculine presence who's there and guiding you through the fight, you can feel that instead of being in control, it's almost like he's standing next to you. I will teach you so many things, Isra.
Cool.
Flora looks at you all, and she looks a little like sad almost, and she says, I am glad to see you, but I wish you had not come.
Kane will take off his helmet and begin to slowly walk towards Flora. We said we would come back for you.
You did. That was before Natalia was turned. This has all been pointless.
Are you all right?
I don't know.
We have to get you out of here. They're going to come for all of us. We have to leave the Blood Realm.
We can try. But they have plans.
And then it is now that you all notice that as Flora says that, all of the other vampire guards and Hizlaki guards and all the different people that have been around and giving you all a berth are all now approaching. An army-size number of people. This isn't just something that you guys could fight your way out of. I mean, maybe you guys want to try to do that. I'm not sure. I'm not putting, decisions in your minds, but you can tell from the large numbers that are approaching you all, wearing the vampire garb, the black armor, more than one Bloodblade in amongst all of them. You can tell that there would be a huge battle on your hands, and the four of you might not be enough to take down what would easily be at least 100, 120 of these soldiers and guardsmen. The guy who was at the gate, who Kalim got into it with, and who lets you all pass, steps forward. Stand down. You've had your fun. Throw your weapons down, prepare to be taken. We have a ritual to see to. And then he looks to you, Flora. What say you, Countess?
I say that you have no cause to command my companions.
Really hoping you were going to say that. Let's make this quick and easy, everybody. And all of these hundreds of people draw weapons and begin to move towards all of you. And we're going to stop right there and find out what happens next time. Amazing, amazing, amazing. This group is so crazy. I cannot even imagine all the stuff you guys do. It just blows me away. Great stuff. Amazing stuff. Yeah. This was Notte Eterna. This was the Blood Rites arc. This was episode 2, which is called Blood Oaths. And as you can see, they all are stepping into some realms of some darkness about to come to the forefront. So thank you all so very much. I want to make a point to, again, go around and have everybody a chance to say who they are, where they can be found. If you are watching for the first time, you're going to want to follow these folks and see what they're doing. And let's start same order. Let's go right over here with Adrian. So Adrian, please tell us what else you doing? Where else we can find you out there in the world at large, my friend?
Hi, well, my name is Adrian. Tonight I played Cade. You can find me on the internet, on Twitter and Threads and all of those things, Blue Sky, at Sly Sparrow _ And there you can go see everything I'm doing, whether it is more online gaming or going to conventions or going to Renaissance festivals or, letting you know what latest anime I'm voicing or anything like that. So come check me out and see what I'm doing next. I look forward to having some great conversations and collaborating with everybody. Speaking of great collaborations, I had a great, fantastic time tonight playing these characters and seeing how every time something new unfolds, we just go further and further into darkness. Every time we think we have a plan, nope, the villains are always 10 steps ahead of us at every single turn. And I love it. I love interacting with everybody and everyone's characters and I'm really, really excited to see how this story ends. I know we have 2 more episodes.
Indeed.
And I just cannot wait.
Yes, this is great. I love this group. You guys are just, like I said, great stuff. You're bringing out things that are just making me go, okay, wait a minute. I got to work on my toes, and I love that. That's great. That's great for me. So thank you very much, Adrian, for being a part of that. Let's go on over to the other side, Beth.
Hey, this was fun.
Yeah.
I am Beth, and tonight I played Istra, who is like 1 soul lighter, I guess, than she was when we started.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you can find me all over the internet at Beth Masco. I'm here doing this, and I'm also doing some fun stuff in the world of Ystera coming up. A little bit down the line, not immediately. But I'm very excited. Just like Adrian said, this is everything is unexpected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And that is very thrilling. So glad to be here.
Awesome. Thanks, Beth. I'm glad to have you here. This has been so much fun. So can't wait till next time. Going on down, I'm going to go back into the right order. Deb, why don't you go and say hello first and tell us where we can find you. So so glad Flora's back, and we're going to get some really juicy stuff with Flora next time. Don't you guys worry. So
I think everyone is glad Flora's back.
Oh, yeah.
She's such a blast to play. I love this subclass. It's so much fun. She's got some really cool stuff. I also am hanging out on Wednesdays in the world of Ystera. I think by the time this airs, there will have been part 1 of a 2-shot that has aired already, but that is great and should be loads of fun. I'm on Instagram and Blue Sky at @dsweats. You can see more pictures of my cats that like to appear on screen. Yeah, that's me. Thanks for having me, Kev.
thank you. It's such a joy. I appreciate it, Beth. You're not Beth. You're Deb. I looked at Beth. She did something. You're Deb. Thank
We
you,
get
Deb.
confused all the time. It's fine.
I appreciate you,
It literally
Deb.
happens all the time.
I did
You
something.
got moved somehow. I don't know. Do you know what? I don't know.
You just looked into the camera, and
Hey.
that was enough.
It's midnight where I'm at. You got to cut me a little bit of slack. Thank you, Deb. I appreciate your time tonight. Appreciate you. And finally, Miko, my friend, doing some really crazy shite tonight. What are you up to, man? I mean, we've talked about Ystera now with 2 different people, your own homebrew world that you run on a bunch of different places. So tell us a little bit about what all you do, man. You've got lots
Yeah,
going on.
so I am Miko, otherwise known as the OKSGM. You can find me on most all the socials at the _OKS_GM, or just take out the underscores in the places that don't allow that stuff, because some places are weird. Yeah, you can find me when I'm not here doing stuff with Kev. You can find me over on Wanderer's Haven running Ystera games. Like Beth said, when this airs, we're going to be like Beth and Deb both said, we're going to be running a little sort of holiday 2-shot. We've got a couple of them lined up, I should say, over the course of the next month or so. So it's going to be a lot of good fun. Really looking forward to that. And maybe by the time the last episode of this arc airs, I'll have more to talk about in regards to the new year. We shall see.
Indeed.
We'll save that for future things.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to hearing more about that, and I appreciate you being here. I have been the Dungeon Master. I am Kevin. I can be found online at the socials at KevRan Games. I am the Dungeon Master here, as well as the U.S. Ambassador for La Notte Eterna in the U.S. If you've liked what you've watched here, and of course you have, give us a little bit of a follow. Tell your friends and family. Tell your enemies. Tell everybody. Tell your vampire overlord. Whoever you need to tell, let them know that we're playing fun games and come hang out with us. If you want to play some La Notte Eterna, you can. You can go to the link tree that's right above Adrian's head, and you can get a copy of the Quick Start Guide, and maybe even pre-order the game before it comes out to your shelf next year. So it's really cool stuff. And also, we have a Discord. Pop in there, and we'll talk to you. We'll answer questions and see what you want to do. This has been amazing. Thank you all so very much. We'll see you all in 2 weeks, as our schedule for this arc will be. So this has been great. Be sure to take care of each other out there and take care of yourself. Until next time, may the moon smile upon you. Good night.
Night, everyone.
Thank you.